If you are a busy parent who wants to feed your family well, but you are so tired of spending all of your extra time cooking and cleaning, then today's video is for you. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of meal prep hacks that are going to help you cook healthier food for your family without spending all of your time doing it. Let's dive in. Hey there, welcome back. My name's Amy. I'm a mom and natural food chef, and I have two little boys, a business that I run, and a family to feed. The food that they eat is super duper important to me, but sometimes I'm just so tired of cooking and cleaning every single day in the little bit of free time that we have in the evening, or like having to tackle cleaning with my husband after the kids go to bed. And these are the times when I get really strategic about meal prep. Now, I know that you've probably seen awesome videos on the internet where people have meal prep months worth of food at once. And I have to tell you, that is not really my style. I like to eat my food fresh. I like to know that the food that we're eating is loaded with fruits and veggies and all of the nutrients that they bring with them. And so that is not what I'm going to be talking about today. Instead, I'm going to be talking about some hacks and shortcuts that you can take all in one big fell swoop that are going to be getting dinner and lunches and even breakfast on the table much easier throughout the week, and really minimizing the amount of time that you need to cook, yes, but also the amount of time that you need to clean up over and over and over again. So if that sounds good, hang with me. I'm going to share with you my 6 steps to meal prepping quickly and efficiently and feeling better about feeding your family well. So for step 1, it is so important to get a plan in place. Now, the planning is twofold. The first is to know what you want to eat during the week. I'm sorry, you know what? It's threefold. The first is to know what you want to serve throughout the week. The second is create a grocery list and make sure you have everything. And then the third is to come up with a plan for your meal prep session. So I'm going to bring you over here and show you our plan for the week and talk a little bit about how I do this. All right, we're mobile here, and I've switched over so that I can show you. I'm filming this in the middle of what is the coronavirus lockdown, and so we've got some dry erase boards and things going on here. But the reason I want to show you this is because this is how I like to organize my thinking around the meals for the week. Let me flip you around. Okay, cool. So I have breakfast, snack 1, lunch, snack 2, and dinner. And I had been planning everything out day by day, but I have found that that's like a little bit strict for my preferred way of thinking. And so what I would have done instead is list the things that we have the food for, or that we'll be getting the food for tomorrow when we go grocery shopping, so that I can pick moment by moment what we're going to be having and know that I'm using everything for maximum efficiency. Now, this list is super helpful because not only does it help me plan our grocery list, which I've already done, and I have a video I'll link to here about creating a family grocery list using Alexa that's super duper helpful. But the other thing that allows me to do is to see the things that would take the longest, or the things that we need to use up right away, and know what could I do now that's going to help me make all of those things more quickly, do less cooking throughout the week, but still make sure that my family has healthy options on hand. So one example of that would be like these muffins that I have behind me. These are whole grain maple syrup sweetened muffins. I actually got the recipe from Amy Chaplin's book, Whole Food Cooking Every Day. I'll link to that in the comments. It's a favorite for sure. But I know that I'm not going to make these throughout the week, but having them on hand and even putting some in the freezer is like a long-term insurance policy that we have great snacks that I feel good about serving, without needing to be like, oh, we need snacks. Now I'm going to stop everything and cook them and mess up the kitchen and then clean up the kitchen and then do it all again a little bit later. So those are the kinds of things that I look for when I'm planning my meal prep. I should mention now that I am going to give you some templates for meal prep planning in the comments below that you can sign up for my list, and then you can get those sent to you if you are looking for, some ideas of how to get yourself organized. So step 2 in a fast, efficient meal prep is to get your kitchen ready to make a big mess out of it. I know that sounds counterintuitive because you're like, if I'm going to make a big mess, why do I need to clean it up? But the thing is that you need to get your kitchen ready to be able to work efficiently, so that you're not like working around things or filling up a sink while your dishwasher is already full. So the 2 main things I look for are like, what can I clean up in the kitchen? The answer is a lot right at this moment. This is real life happening. And the second thing is to empty the dishwasher, because then you can work your big mess into the empty dishwasher. If you're concerned about me saying there's going to be a big mess, I just want to assure you that this is all part of the process of meal prepping and getting all the mess making done at once. Mess making and cooking done at once. The thing is that by my calculations, making a big mess and cleaning it up once, and then like tiny little messes the rest of the time while you heat things up or assemble them, is much better and easier to manage, less exhaustion inducing than making medium messes like 14 times throughout the week when you make all the different meals, the breakfasts and the lunches and the dinners, and then having to clean those up day after day after day. Here's what some of that cleaning and prepping looks like. Step 3 is to get working on your longer and more involved items. So these are the things that like might take a little bit of time up front, but by planning for them, you can let them work while everything else is being done. This might be like roasting a chicken, making some broth, making a pie crust, which is one of the things I'm planning to do today. Let me show you what those look like. All right, so we're walking over here because I have some chicken broth that's been going for, gosh, you can see like 6.5 hours now. The beauty of that is that this is now going to be ready when I go to make my chicken pot pie, and it will have no work on my part. Right, I also made some muffins, which was a little bit more involved because I was making some of my own gluten-free flours. These are Morning Glory muffins. They're gluten-free and vegan, and they're super yummy. And while they were baking, I was able to do a bunch of the other things that I needed. If I had been making like the pie crust, I would have made that during this time. And also like if I were cooking any beans for the week, I would get that started right away so that those were working while everything else was getting made. All right, step 4 then is to prep the basics. So the basics in my case are getting things like fruits and veggies washed and cut up and then stored for the week so that they're easily grabbable to either put into a dish that I'm making, say the chicken pot pie, or that they are ready for snacks for my kids. I've already done the work on the produce. You probably know what that looks like because you've probably done it, but I'm gonna just show you a little bit of the fruits of my labor. Some of the fast things that I did were get these salads ready. These are mason jar salads. I'll link to a video where I show you how to make mason jar salad. They keep really well, and we're gonna grab those for lunch, us adults. I also made some pancakes and a salsa verde. I cut up a watermelon. Don't judge, my fridge is still a little bit dirty. I sauteed some Asian greens. I prepped some cucumbers back there for my guy who loves them, and I washed up some sugar snap peas. So those were the like easy basic things that I did in the time where some of the more involved things were working. All right, step 5 is that you're gonna label everything. Do not skip this step. I know you're gonna think like, well, I know what I already cut up and when I did it, but here's the thing, after a busy week of wrangling kids, you're gonna forget, or you're gonna be the only person in your house who knows when you made something and when it can be eaten until. And so this is my step that I take to empower my family to know what's in the fridge, what can be eaten. So let me show you what both the labeling process and then what the storage of the labeled items looks like. So the things you need for labeling are really quite simple. You can get fancy labels, beautiful labels from Martha Stewart or whatever you like, but in professional kitchens, it's usually just masking tape and a Sharpie. If I'm storing these muffins for like the fridge or freezer, I'm just gonna write Morning Glory, and then I'll put the date that I made it. That's what I prefer, 4/19. And I'll know that about 5 days later, 3 to 5 days is most things, that those need to be eaten, or ideally before then they can go in the freezer. And then if I've written 4/19, then I'll know like 6 months to a year from then is probably when they're not good anymore, though the freezer is always like your best bet, right? So the muffins go in a single layer with that nice label. And now when my husband says, what can I give the kids for a snack? They're hungry. I can say, oh, there's Morning Glory muffins in the fridge, and he won't be like poking around at everything. He'll just see the bag, see the label, and be able to serve those. If you are not using a Ziploc bag, then my favorite thing to do is to use some masking tape. I do the exact same thing. I just pull off a piece of masking tape. The best time to label it is before it goes into the fridge because it doesn't stick as well to cold things. That's like the one thing you need to know about this very simple process. This is crispy chicken, and it was from yesterday. So I'm gonna write 4/18 so that I'm not like smelling it and trying to guess if it's still good. Stick that label on there, and then likewise when I say can you get the crispy chicken out so that I can make the chicken pot pie with it, We all know which one that is and what is lurking in the back of our refrigerator. Can you relate? I'm just gonna remind you, this is my pep talk to you and me, that the reason we're doing this is so that we have to clean less often. We're cleaning in one fell swoop instead of multiple times. It's also the reason that you cleaned up your kitchen and you emptied your dishwasher ahead of time so that you can work straight into your dishwasher, throw everything in there and run another load. Don't be afraid to run a couple of loads. Dishwashers actually use less water than washing by hand. So if you're lucky enough to have a dishwasher, I highly recommend using it in this case to get like a quick turnover of everything that you've worked on. You'll have a nice full dishwasher and you can run the load. Here's what that looks like. I hope that this was helpful today. If so, if you'll give me a like or subscribe to my channel, I would love that so much. I am showing up a couple of times every week to help busy parents who want to feed their family healthy food but don't want to spend more time and money doing it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll see you again soon.